Hi, this is Lori here with Reality Smack. How y'all doing? I'm sorry I've been a while getting back to you on this next step on the NA 12 steps that I've been going through. This next one was kind of a doozy, and it put me in kind of a depressed mental mind state, and I'll get to why there in a second. It may do the same to you. Step 4 says we made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. That one was tricky for me because it's like I hate looking over my life and sort of not micromanaging, but looking through it with a fine-tooth comb and looking at all the things I've done wrong. Because I'm one of these people, if I start, I get very obsessive with it, and I will go through and find like a bajillion things that I've done with my life that were wrong or hurtful to other people or sinful, however you want to word it. And it's just bad. I'll get so depressed and down on myself thinking, oh man, I hurt this person or that person, and I shouldn't have done this, I shouldn't have done that, and I need to go to all these people and apologize. Oh, why am I even here on this earth? And these feelings of worthlessness creep in. And I start to feel like very hopeless, very down, very dark, very worthless. I feel like I don't have a purpose here on earth, and all I do is screw up. Once I start looking at that list of negative things, I start feeling that way, and it gets me very dark mentally. And I did wind up withdrawing from social situations for a long time there, and just didn't talk to people. Even online, it was like very brief. I did not want to be around people. I withdrew completely, and this was one of the reasons why that was happening. Was because I felt bad about myself, and I didn't feel the self-confidence to be worthy to walk in this world, if that makes sense. I don't know how to explain it exactly. But as I started reading this chapter, I started getting to that they say it's not just an inventory of all the bad things you've done. You can also write down some of the good things you've done, and that can be a good thing. And I kind of get the point of this because it allows people to rethink. And if you did this periodically, like maybe once a year, and thought of all the bad things you've done, all the things you've done that hurt other people or hurt yourself, then it would help you make better decisions in the future, because then you'd think, oh, well, I don't want to do this because this will happen, and last year when I went to so-and-so's house I got into trouble, so I don't want to go to so-and-so's house again, that sort of thing. You think through decisions better when you evaluate stuff at least yearly, your decisions overall. What were they good, were they bad, were they in between? But there are certain people in this world that get this mindset that they don't do anything wrong, ever. And part of that is just parenting these days. A lot of people don't want to tell their children no. They don't want to tell their children that they can't do something. They tell their kids, oh, you can grow up and do anything you want to do. No, not really. If you have a child that's not so great in math, I kind of doubt they're going to be a rocket scientist. Just my take on it. But, you kind of have to, encourage them, but don't give them out of this world crazy expectations that probably won't happen. I'm not saying hopeless. I'm not saying tell your kids they can't do it, but aim their interest in other directions too. Tell them, oh, well, that's a good idea, but you might also want to consider being a nurse or maybe like a cosmetologist, Steer them in different directions. Wider interests, broader interests. Anyway, but people tell their kids they can do anything they want, be anything they want, and they never tell them no, that they can't. And then when something like this happens, where they run into problems with addiction, and they wind up in an NA type of organization, or something like it, in a group therapy, then they start to feel like they cannot convince themselves that their decisions were bad, because they think, well, my decisions are never bad. I never do anything wrong. What are you talking about? Why are you getting down on me? Why are you dissing me, bruh? And people seriously act that way sometimes, and it's all trained. All of that is learned behavior, straight up. Somebody thought that was cute when they acted like that when they were younger, and they just went with it. And the people grew up, and they're still acting like their little 13 or 14-year-old running around saying, "Oh, are you dissing me, bro? Or don't be hating on me. Don't be hating on me." And it's like, you're 40. You're too old for anybody to be hating on you. Like, grow up. Just own the stuff you do wrong. Own the stuff you do right. Own your own decisions like a big boy or big girl's gonna do or should do. And I got to looking at my personal inventory. I'm going to share a few of these with you, not all of them, because of the fact that, well, you know, some stuff you don't want to share everything on the internet about, but also I don't want to be a chicken and not share anything with you, because then I feel like I'm not being authentic. So this was some of my moral inventory. And under the positive category, I chose this past year to homeschool Abby, which was a good thing. I think it helped her tremendously. Her ideas about math and her skill sets of reading have gone way up since starting that. Way less stressful for her, less of a issue with getting along with other kids, because, you know, you just go hang out with kids at the park. It's more of a play situation. Another good thing I did was I started going to a therapist last year. For the first time, I got insurance that actually covered me going to my own personal therapist. And I needed it too. I had bad anxiety issues, and panic attacks were really bad. And a lot of it was exacerbated by having fibromyalgia and not getting my proper medicines. But that's the way things go sometimes. You can't always get what you want, you know, as the Rolling Stones would say. But another positive thing, I started going to group therapy at another location that was a mental health type organization. But I do group therapy. Right now I'm in the middle of taking stock of your inventory should be about. Now, if you're not Christian, there is a way you could alter this for yourself to make it work and still let it help your addiction, help you to deal with your addiction, and help you to live a clean life. And that is, you could change the name Jesus and put something else in its place. Either a person that you really look up to, and make sure it's a person that's really, really, really good to look up to. Somebody that you think is a good example to you of who you would want to be like. Someone compassionate, loving, understanding without a fault. You know, some people would say Mother Teresa. Some people would look to their Pope. Some people, you know, look to all kind of figures and think, well, I want to be like this person because this person has it morally right. You know, this person has just got it right there the way it's supposed to be. You know, and use that as your example. You can really alter this to make it work for you either way you go. But I just wanted to let y'all know how I was going with that step, and I love y'all. I'll see y'all for the next video with Reality Smack. Bye. Please subscribe for more interesting content from Reality Smack. Thank you so much for watching. Love y'all.